Told you I do this shit for Vegas. About to shut the world down. World domination. World ain't ready for the.
What's going on, people? We are back at it again with the High Budtenders Podcast. It is me, Jorrell, and you know I got my road dog, my partner in crime, Rocky. What's the deal?
What's the deal, man?
Man, I'm loving it right now. We got some beautiful weather.
There's wonderful things happening in Vegas.
A lot of stuff going on right now.
I think that there's been a lot of real big hype going on right now. There's boxing matches that are coming to Vegas that are going to be super huge.
We got Halloween coming up.
Halloween is
got a bunch of events for that.
It's going to be popping.
Yeah.
And I think that, if you're out there and you're coming to Vegas, you need to get your finger on the heart pulse of what's going on in Vegas. And speaking of people having their heart pulse.
Speaking of popping.
Vegas and doing all, here's the thing. If you feel like you're not doing enough, do not follow this lady because she does everything.
Everywhere, too.
Everywhere. Yes, she will keep you on your toes. No lie. There are so many things going on. We are going to talk about it, and we're going to go step by step on it. But I would like to introduce someone who, in the cannabis industry that's an absolute gem, Maxine Fensom. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
G'day.
Oh, my gosh, the voice. And we can keep that on the podcast.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of things going on for you right now.
There is, yes. Always has been. I'm
Yes.
a multitasker.
Yeah.
I love having a couple of, I actually have 9 businesses at the moment here in Vegas.
Yep.
So it's a bit to juggle. Just ask Lisa.
Lisa, it's a bit to juggle, huh?
Yeah.
But it's not just here in Vegas, though, right? You have businesses across the
Down under.
Yeah, down under.
Yeah, in Australia, I do.
That's wild.
But let's talk about your cannabis, your Vegas cannabis acumens, first of all. You do currently run a cannabis tour, the Las Vegas Cannabis Tours, correct?
That's right, yes.
And so tell us a little bit about that. When people come here, they really want to know what they can do as far as cannabis.
Okay, it was born out of the pandemic in 2020. Basically, we have 7 or 8 tours that you can choose from just your basic stoner tour, go to 3 dispensaries. And it's not just go to 3 dispensaries. We give a very anecdotal story about Las Vegas and about cannabis and basically the people that take you on these tours, and I'd love to take you both actually.
Yeah,
we could do
absolutely.
one.
I love that.
We give you, a bit of a bit behind the scenes, and do you know that there's 200 miles worth of tunnels underneath, and that there's 8 mayors that actually run underground of Las Vegas as we're going past the tunnels on the way to the dispensaries and the grow houses. Did you know that?
No, I had no idea.
Well, there are 8 mayors that actually run under the ground of Las Vegas. And so they basically keep their law and order, and I don't even know what they're doing there, but they have their own rules. And this is according to the Las Vegas police. I actually had a long conversation one day outside of a tunnel just to say, what is going on here? Because I live just near one of the tunnels. Right. So you would see a lot of activity, but they've seemed to have cleaned that up. So that's pretty out there, isn't it?
Wow.
Yes, that's all the way out there.
Yes, it is. I know that there's a whole community of people that live under the ground.
Yeah.
But there's somebody running these things.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's 8 of them. And I wonder how they get in power. I wonder if they vote themselves in, or just sort of knock each other out, who knows? And what are the rules? I would love to know.
Right.
Yes.
It would be like up there and down here.
Yes. And okay, so if I was to right now Google you are pages. It's endless, really. So what made you come to Vegas? What made you bring all that energy here?
Oh, man.
That was a loaded question, by the way, guys.
That is no longer
No
in my
hesitation,
life.
though. No hesitation. No.
So, no, I have a good one now, but, pretty much a dickhead.
Okay.
So that was the reason.
Okay,
Right
and then
on.
you came out here and then you just made things happen. You were like, I'm going to sprinkle everything. And it happened to be surrounded almost around cannabis for a lot of things.
Look, it was born out of the pandemic. It was born out of sadness. My ex long-term partner from Australia died on the brink of the pandemic on the 30th of March 2020. And, I had business over in Australia. And as you know, Melbourne and Australia was the worst affected by the pandemic. And so there was no business, there was no money, and I actually had a foodie tour. And a couple of professors that I knew from back east, they actually asked me to take them on a cannabis tour. And I thought, oh, okay, I'll do that. I mean, you know, I thought, all right, I'll do it. So they came and I took them on a 7.5-hour tour.
Right.
I took them to dispensaries, I took them behind the scenes, I took them on a helicopter, then I had them back at my house and we had some, you know, some charcuterie board and some wine and basically, you know, they were smoking joints and that was it. And then I thought, well, that's it, I'm going to do this. And, you know, of course, with the government giving everybody money and flying them into
beautiful.
Vegas and cheap accommodation, I was busy.
Yeah, you were. I mean, it seems like that's something that I missed, man. I'm like, that's like a stoner's dream, right? You go on a little tour,
Yep.
and then I saw too that even with the you also have included cannabis weddings.
Yes, I became an officiant. I had somebody ask me, look, you know, we really want to get married. So being the entrepreneur that I am, I went and got myself, you know, as an officiant. I am actually ordained minister, but here in Las Vegas you have to do a different course. You have to do like a background check. Yeah. And so I married my first wedding. It was like a traditional wedding, but with cannabis. We did it at Planet 13. There were like 50 guests, and it was fabulous. The bride actually had been in a terrible car accident, and she didn't really know anything about cannabis, and her husband basically turned her onto it, and so it was like love at first sight for that, and it was actually beautiful. It was lovely.
Oh yeah.
I read in Forbes that you even started the the cannabis divorce parties.
Yes, got that going as well now, of course.
That's how you do it, though.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Corner
you
the
are.
market.
Yeah.
I'll marry you, and then we can get you divorced.
Exactly.
But I actually did a thing with German TV maybe about a month ago, and that's all on the divorce parties, and that was a lot of fun. We went and, well, I didn't. I touched the gun, but they had those, you know, big AKAs and they shot the shit out of the wedding dress and then set it on fire. And then we went and saw male strippers. It was fun.
That's great. It's Puff Puff.
Or Puff Part ways or something like that.
Puff, puff, part ways.
Puff part,
yeah.
So if you guys are in Vegas and you are because divorce parties are huge now in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's no longer about getting
Everyone's
married.
doing it.
Yes. So I mean, I think there's probably more divorces than there are fucking marriages.
Or it's
these
getting
days.
close,
It's
yeah.
getting close to it.
That
so
gap is closing.
yeah, if you are in Vegas, man, that is the way to go, right?
100%.
So what is encompassed in that experience?
Well, basically, we supply the wedding dress that you can take it to the gun range. We pick you up with some champagne and, you know, minimum like 10 ladies or 10 men or whatever you like, mixed. And we'll take you to a gun range where you'll have a couple of shots. We'll take you to the lounge prior to that if you'd like to go there. And then we basically clip that wedding dress up on the thing that you shoot at. And then you have a choice of guns. And then that's it, you know, let it all go.
Wow.
Man, dude, that
sounds
right
fun.
There.
Yeah.
I don't know, why would you do anything else?
Well, that's it. And then we go to a strip club afterwards just to celebrate.
I love that so much. Most recently, though, I had received a text message from you, and I was like, "Holy cow, she's doing like all of it, right?" So the SEXPO comes to Vegas.
Yep, that's Australian.
Yes,
Yeah.
and okay, so this is different from the regular. I know that there's a really huge event that comes out here.
What,
AVN.
IVN, yeah. How different is this, and why should people attend?
Okay, well, first of all, it's the oldest adult exhibition in the world. It's been going since 1996. It's got a lot of Australian wackiness in it. It's not just about like cam girls and all that sort of thing. It's more about vendors. It's female friendly, couple friendly, inclusive, diverse. A lot of street theatre involved. Lots of vendors that not just sex, but you know, like psychology, loans, cosmetics, everything, lingerie, sex toys, and then they have like hourly events such as, and it's very popular, is the male amateur strip and the female amateur strip, as well as amazing professional shows. They also have like celebrities that turn up. Usually it's hosted by a drag. I've actually hosted one years ago. And then, it just progresses on. It's full on. It is really full on.
Yeah.
It is completely different though.
Yeah.
There's people's photos of people's vaginas and penises on the wall, and you can sort of guess which is who. Normally there's naked rubber dolls hanging down from the ceiling. It is quite different, but it's sexy, but it's friendly, and it's like I say, it's. Our attitude towards sex is a little bit different to Americans. I think we're a little bit more open.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm looking forward to creating for next year.
Right.
But I have to educate people about it. A lot of Americans do know about it who have been vendors, but just the Joe Schmo doesn't know about it. So it has to be done on a big scale for everyone to really appreciate it. But so I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. How long have you been doing this in Australia?
Well, it's been going for 28 years.
28 years. Yeah. Man, that's it.
Is this the first one in America?
Yes, it will be.
Nice.
Yeah. I've done some sneak peeks just to let people come and see what it's all about. But also, we are going to involve cannabis as well, because in the participating states. But obviously, we're starting off in Las Vegas.
Right.
So I'll probably do about 8 cities. So that's probably a little bit ambitious, but
Yeah,
that's what we're looking at.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you plan to incorporate cannabis?
Well, people about vendors,
like the vendors coming
and
out.
also like breakout rooms where people can talk about it, where they can talk about it like body products that have THC in it, sexuality, but also about like Jerome Baker, demonstrating blowing glass to your products. Obviously, you can't sell them there, but you can educate people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So that'll be nice.
Yes,
yes.
absolutely.
We could have you there.
I would love to be there.
And I think that people are progressing in like being a little bit more open about talking about sexuality and just the outside of the norms, because there's a lot. You know what I mean? And some of these things just need light for people. Like there's some people that don't even engage in sex because of the fact that they're too afraid to, partake in any kind of like fetish activity that they might be interested in or something like that. So I think that this is imperative, especially for people and we all know that cannabis heightens sex a great deal. So, it should just go hand in hand.
100%.
Well, it could. It's also for people like who are a little bit who want to like sort of dip their toe in maybe learning more about something that they're interested in, but also about the cannabis side of things as well. Like what does that feel like? What's a sativa?
Right.
What about like a massage oil or something like that, or even a lube?
Right.
That's got some THC in it. There's some lovely products out there.
Yes, there are.
So yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yep, we were just talking about that actually just recently, because there's so many new vibrator contraptions that are out there that, dude, like TikTok is cornering the market on just how to advertise fucking sexual toys, because it keeps popping
way to
up.
go.
I think if you mention it once near your phone, you're stuck. Like it's gonna be
The algorithm gets you. And then you're stuck in there.
Every single
100%,
time.
yeah.
So, is there anything more that you do in Melbourne, Australia, that focuses on sex and cannabis, or sex in general?
Well, cannabis is not legal. It is
No.
medical.
Yes.
I think it's going to take a while. We are a little bit behind the times. In some ways, we're not as progressive. We didn't. I think we were third in the world to, make gay rights. It was Ireland and then America. So we're a bit behind on that. But on other areas, like with, prostitution, that is decriminalised in Australia, whereas here, obviously it's illegal. So I run a strip club.
Okay.
I've had that for a number of years, Maxine's Gentlemen's Club. And it is alcohol and nudity, which is really different to what's based mostly in
That's
America.
true.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I also run the Australian Adult Industry Awards, which is honouring anyone and everyone in the adult industry, from best, gentlemen's club to, anything and everything in between, best sex store, best female stripper, best mentor, anything and everything. So I think we have about 85 awards, and now we're involved. We involved New Zealand in the last 2 years, and then we also we gave a Hall of Fame award to Miles Long, an American photographer, who I photographed with Penthouse for a long time, and now I'm working with Holly Randall to bring in American film for next year. So we've met. We're going to get the AVNs out of the way, and then we're going to perhaps organise that, which will be super exciting. And we're also setting up a board now for people like 15 years and more in the industry that can actually, in the top 5 awards, to give peers, the proper honouring of their, success in the adult industry. And also we're trying to destigmatise and make it more normalised. I mean, we have a lot of, press. And actually, the guy that actually ran the awards last year was a guy called Dave Husey, and he's one of the most famous Australian comedians. So it was incredible having him.
Right.
He was just crazy, wacky, naughty, fabulous. So, yeah, that was great.
Those awards have to be crazy because what did you call the AVN awards? Like mild or?
Well, I think they're very unsexy.
Unsexy?
Well, only because they have a lot of, nothing wrong with camming and or anything like that, but I think once you've seen 1 or 2 booths, that's kind of it. And I just don't feel it's as creative, certainly not as creative as SEXPO.
Yeah.
And it's just not sort of sexy. Like the motto for sexy is health, sexuality and lifestyle. And that really encompasses everything. But with the AVNs, it's a bit different. It's really all about like the film industry, to be honest. It's much more that.
With the SEXPO, do you have like a favorite event you like to go to? Like, is it the amateur strippers or what's your favorite that you like going to every year?
Well, I like to go there, but then I like to go into the green room.
Okay.
And then hang out with everybody and talk a whole lot of shit.
That's the green room.
Oh, that's the room where we just get away.
Okay.
Get away from all the punters and basically, have a couple of drinks and just talk a whole lot of rubbish. And then usually on the Sunday, all the women get together who are major sort of players in the industry, and then we all bring a gift, and then we put that on the table, and then we sort of do a raffle, and then we all put in money, and that goes towards we're giving money to prostate cancer for the men. We do stuff like that. A lot of networking, which I just like for catching up because it's from all over Australia, and you get to really catch up and see what's going on. And it's like going on a rock and roll show because tour, because you go from Melbourne to Sydney up to Brisbane, then over to Perth, and then to Adelaide. Yes. So, it's really exciting. It's like it's like a family, really. Yeah. So, yeah, it's great.
Nice.
And then we can do it here.
Yeah.
It's the small states to go to. But, yeah. So, but it does tend to be like that too with the vendors with like AVN. They'll go to all the different, conventions. So it's a similar sort of, brotherhood, sisterhood of just friends and family, Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. If people do, I know you probably get this because you're in the industry, just like we get it all the time when we're in cannabis. People want to know. They always want to get a little bit more information or sideline information on what's going on. What's the best way that people can learn a little bit more about what's going on with what you have going on in the industry?
Oh, you're talking about like social media and stuff like that?
No, not social media, but like if people wanted to learn a little bit more about the sex industry and stuff like that, how do they get education? How do you guys help with that type of situation?
Oh, okay. Well, there's a lot of mentors, actually. Okay. A lot of men and women, but a lot of women who mentor other women in the business. And that's I think that's an excellent thing for people just to learn more about it. I have quite a few people who contact me and want to know. I'm not always the best resources for that.
Yeah.
Especially like men will, reach out to me and say, how can I become a porn star? And,
the typical
all
stuff.
that sort of thing.
Those questions.
And I mean, it's just like, oh mate, you just like, go and ring these people, because I don't really want to talk. It actually doesn't make me feel very comfortable, really, because I'm not sure if they're sort of, just having a lent of me. Or, usually
it's
a lot
suspicious.
of it's just fantasy, to be honest. Yeah. And I've had quite a few women who wanted to meet me, and then they, they just, I think they're a bit unrealistic.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's interesting.
Okay, gotcha. I know you probably get a lot of requests on, what to do in the industry and how to make money in the industry and do all these certain things. I know that I do. I have a few people that work in the industry that are friends of mine that actually didn't make money in the cannabis industry but are now making a lot of money on OnlyFans and stuff like that, which I think is kind of really like an outlet.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that there was many of those things. It's tough, even if people, because I am LGBT, it's tough for people to learn how to express their sexuality in the ways that they want to.
And also, I think, there's still some prudes out there that aren't accepting or understanding. I know even with me, people judge me at times. And, that kind of shocks me, really. Because I think I am who I am, and that's it. I'm a bit sort of prissy, but, I think people have a big expectation of me. They think I do these wild orgies and all this sort of crazy shit.
Right.
Like, seriously. And, I mean... And I'm in a monogamous relationship with a person, and I've sort of just fell into this years ago. I think I was obsessed about sex when I was a little girl,
Right.
And it just sort of I've thought about that over the years, and I guess I'm in the place that I'd like to be,
Right.
But everything I've done has always been correct and it's been legal,
Right.
And I actually really enjoy meeting people and. Learning. I mean,
Yes.
I'm always learning. I'm sometimes a bit shocked sometimes too. It's like, oh my God, okay, all right.
It keeps business pleasurable too.
Yeah, I think
You know
so.
what I mean? Yeah, I think when you keep things on the level, everything's really, it's a full business, and people just have to understand that too. Like, when you're making money and it's a serious business, that is a serious industry. It's not just
it
like
is.
cannabis. It's a serious industry. And,
That's right.
Yeah, and people just need to be a little bit more open to these types of things. So I had no idea that there was a SEXPO. I'm super excited.
Well, I'll tell you all about it, and I'll definitely. I will say too, I have had a number of stalkers, a lot of female stalkers.
Oh, wow.
I had a gay guy that basically, stalked me, but he also stalked a number of other women in Australia, and that was really scary. I had
Lord
my
have
car
mercy.
stolen. I had my business taken. I couldn't leave the country here to go back and recover everything, and that was one of the reasons I just went back now to finally get my Z4 back. That was he stole 4.5 years ago. Wow. Yeah. So
Lord.
yeah. So I'm not sure if the pandemic sent him psycho, but that was like a trip.
Yeah.
That was really a trip.
Gosh.
Man.
There's so many different instances of these things. I get stuck sometimes in like Netflix K-holes, and I'd be like
Yeah.
watching Netflix, and there's so many of these things happening
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? And we just have to be ultra aware. It just stinks because it makes the atmosphere and the landscape just a little bit scary.
Yeah, and
You
it sucks because that industry kind of attracts them a little bit more. Like it brings out
Yeah.
the crazies a little bit
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, it does, and I think it's also. I think since the pandemic, I think there's a lot of mental illness, and I think people don't always know how to handle that or even recognise it. So I mean, I'm not giving him a pass on that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just saying it was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Nope. Hey, folks, if you even think remotely that something like that is happening in your life, you need to speak up and do the things that are necessary. And I'm sure you, as you did, because people shouldn't be doing that shit and walking the streets. It's so creepy. It's terrible. It's awful. I hate that part. But that's the part, I guess, of the industry, you know what I mean? The little creepsters and stuff like that. That's going to
Sniffling around.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it goes without saying in that industry too, like just because of that. But I think that this is the reason why we should have SEXPOs, because people have to get that type of education, maybe, and you're giving people outlet too.
Look, I agree, and especially in the political climate too,
Yeah.
about, there's some kind of like horrible sort of, I mean, depending on what party you're going to go for. But yes, I think people need to be a little bit more open and just a bit more understanding, and also I think education.
Yeah. You never know, it might be a community out there for you that's into the same thing you're into.
For sure.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. So, do you consume? cannabis?
I like an edible.
Okay.
I don't smoke because I don't like to be coughing. However, if you blow it in my face, and I quite often say that, I don't mind being hotboxed.
Okay.
But
That's great.
She was like, I'll take some secondhand.
I shan't be smoking a joint. But if you blow that in my face, I'm okay with that. But I do like a Pinot Noir. I won't lie to you, but I like a sativa. I like an edible.
A good edible.
But yeah, I can't smoke. I just don't like that coughing thing. I
hear
already
you.
have a drippy throat, so
I hear
I
you.
told you I was prissy.
Yeah, the wine effect, that nice buzz, you can keep it solid.
Yeah. Do you like? What's your go-to edible? Is it a gummy, a baked good, chocolate,
I don't mind like a cookie.
a cookie?
I used to have this gentleman he's since passed away. He used to make me a little chocolate cake, and I would just casually eat a bit.
Just nibble on it here and there.
Yeah, don't mind that. So yeah.
Nice.
What about you? What do you like?
I'm a flower guy. Yeah, I like to smoke. Yeah, that's my go-to.
When I was 16, I went to this thing called the Age of Aquarius. I went on a train up to Queensland from Melbourne, and it was a festival. I was 16 years old, and I didn't even know where I was going to stay. And it was like open toilets, and then open showers. They come in and hose you down with a fire hose, and I was mortified. But I remember smoking a carrot chillum, smoking cannabis out of a carrot chillum. And Nimbin is up near, it's up in northern Queensland. I'm just trying to think of, anyway, it's a real hippie commune. So I think I've forever been a hippie.
Yeah. Are the laws really nuts in Australia if you get caught smoking?
Yes, look, it's like your schedule, but it's serious. But there's dispensaries, but there's actually a couple down the road from my club, but they're nondescript, nothing glamorous like here.
Yeah.
So you've definitely got to jail.
Yeah. I could see why you're here, and we are glad that you are here.
Oh, I am too. I
Yes.
actually love it here.
When your magazine covers came out for Vegas Cannabis, I was immediately intrigued because of the headline on the front. And we had the same, I think at the same time we had our thing in the magazine as well, the Budtender of the month. And I remember reading up on it and just being like, oh my gosh, this is so interesting. I love this, but I really wanted to be like, yeah, can you be on the podcast? But I thought maybe a little bit too.
Oh, you should have called me. I mean, it's
stuff.
over a year ago. But you did so long. I've
I
done
know.
2 covers. I'm going to do a third one.
Listen, I am so glad. Believe me, I am so happy. And I think it's almost like kismet that you reached out to, because I feel like that's amazing. And so it just kind of sealed things for me. I say it's kismet.
I think I'm a little bit of an unknown quantity, to be honest. And I think people thought, who is this chick? Just walks right in and blah, blah, blah. Here she is. And, that's what I've kind of liked. I've kept my lane very narrow. Yeah. But I'm so glad that you asked me here today. So thank you.
Absolutely. We appreciate you hopping on. You killed it. We're probably going to have to get you back on so we can expand on your other businesses in Australia.
Well, we didn't talk enough. We're
going to have a part 2. Before we go, you have to tell the people your nickname that they gave you out there.
Well, it's not my nickname, but my nickname is the Queen of Pussy. And the reason being is because I guess, being a female pioneer in the adult industry as far as, basically starting with $1,000 and starting up like a lingerie restaurant, and then, progressing into having a strip club and doing crazy shows and being an advocate also, for, sexuality and, adult. So, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, we need it. We need more. Come on, people, get out there. Let's talk about sex. It's an important topic, and it goes well with cannabis.
Meow.
Hand in hand.
That's
Meow, meow.
right. If people want to, now we're going to ask this question. If people want to learn a little bit more about what you do in the industry or get more involved, how would they do that?
Well, you can get me on Instagram, Maxine Fensom. You can go to SEXPO.com. You can also go to Las Vegas Cannabis Weddings.com and Las Vegas Cannabis Tours.com.
Man, I love it. You see,
Nice.
yeah, you can have more than one business, folks.
Oh, I
Try
can
doing one.
tell you one more.
Yes.
It's a fashion line. It's just starting. It's called ElevateJayne.com, and Jayne is Jayne, ElevateJayne.com.
I love that.
There we go.
And what a great name for a company, too. Heck yeah. At High Budtenders, always on social media, anything social media, you can check us out at High Budtenders. Please go on to www.highbudtenders.com. Our good friend Tosh, who works for the company, he's
Best
been
in the
doing
business.
best in the business. He's a game changer. He's been changing some things around, so I really want to thank him personally for doing all the wonderful things. So check us out. We got a lot of new merch on the website, and it looks really, really great. Drop us a note. I think we even have a app coming here soon.
Watch out.
Yeah, it's
Watch
gonna
out
be,
now.
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Budtender education is always wonderful. Like
Yes.
when you can educate people on cannabis, that's the way to go. So we thank you folks for listening. We are very appreciative. Coming up soon for November, we will be having a really big, super, it's called Cleaning the House type giveaway. So we're going to be giving away a shit ton of stuff for the holidays. And guess what, man? That could be gifts for other people.
Yeah.
So it could be like a little super nice little windfall for you.
Yeah.
So check that out. I just want to give a special shout out to Wacket Grinders for always giving support. That is a Hispanic owned and operated business. They do a really good job. They have the best grinder
Yes.
in the industry. I tell you, try it and you'll see for yourself.
Yes.
All right, so check that out too. We do have them online as well. I'm pretty sure, Tosh, if not, we're going to have to get that happening. We want to thank you folks for listening to the podcast. And as always, stay high, Budtender.
Told you I do this shit for Vegas. About to shut the world down. World domination. World ain't ready for the town. We are an abomination.